If you were to look at me and rate me on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate me?
I like a 6.
What are these men? They are savages.
Привет.
Приветик.
Привет.
Не люблю низких пацанов.
Нифига низкий.
Ну а чё? 1,80 м плюс.
Привет, извини, я за эстетику. Эстетика тела должна быть обязательно.
А чем тебе моя эстетика тела?
So I know we're getting off here really fast, but you're kind of cute. Kiss or slap?
Can I slap you?
Yes.
¿Mbappé o Neymar?
Neymar.
¿Messi o Cristiano Ronaldo?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
¿Cristiano Ronaldo o Una noche de pasión conmigo?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
En plan, ¿por qué?
¿Cuántos balones de oro tienes tú? ¿Cuántos champions?
Such a brutal roast in less than a second.
I'm a bad bitch. I'm a bad bitch. I got my fucking life together.
Are you sure about that?
I have a house. Well, not a house, a condo. I bought it myself. I have a dog. I raised her. I pay for her food. I pay for her vet bills. I have a car. I pay for my car insurance. I pay for everything. I pay for my clothes. I pay for gas. I go to work.
Well done.
Wonderful job that I honestly, truly love. I go to the gym. I work on myself. I work on myself mentally. And you're telling me that at the age of 24, I'm crying over a man? When I have everything.
Go with the virgin right now?
Right now? I definitely would. If he's down, yeah.
I can't, man. I was talking to somebody over there.
They're not looking, buddy. They're not looking.
Huh?
They're not looking.
No, I can't. That sorry. Sorry, I can't. I was talking to somebody over there. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Sorry, bro.
Okay, we like hugs. He's an asshole.
Oh, you think he's an asshole, eh?
I mean, like, bad experience. Just weird vibes. It was super awkward. Confident in himself at all. He's like, I'll give you a hug, and I'm like, sir. That's not why he's here. Yeah.
Fuck.
He's like, I have a girl over there. I'm like, okay, bye. Yeah.
Oh, he flexed on you, eh?
Hard.
Women hate getting rejected, and most of them can't even take it. They are so used to thirsty guys simping on them all the time that they forget that there are quite a lot of guys who actually think with their heads and not what's down there. One thing's for sure, and you can clearly see that in the clips we just showed you, women are not used to being rejected, and it becomes quite a shocker for them to be ignored and dismissed by men they thought would run after them. This is manfulness. Before we move on, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, if you just saw the videos, you will remember the girl at the end who was asked if she wanted to make out with a virgin right now. And there's this guy sitting next to her who's the virgin. The guy completely ignores her and doesn't even look at her and tells the host that he's not interested because he was just talking to somebody else. The girl just cannot believe it and is absolutely shocked. It shows on her face, and until the end, she remains shocked because the guy keeps rejecting her even though he's a virgin apparently. Women shouldn't be shocked if the person tells them he has a girlfriend or is talking to someone else like this guy in the video did. After one rejection, the majority of women will likely give up. Men are terrible at approaching people, so maybe women should start doing it instead if they come across as weird. In my perspective, women will criticize males for bizarre behaviors that are extremely similar to what they themselves do. Men are supposed to entertain women by thinking of funny one-liners, topics for conversation, and engaging methods to keep the conversation going throughout this time. Women will put out little to no effort now that the roles have been reversed. You start to question why men put in such effort for such a long time. It's just not easy, that's why. Trying to conjure up engaging discussions out of thin air is quite challenging. Men must nevertheless do this since women won't. Women simply go about their day and turn down the next guy who approaches them, whereas males have to bear the consequences as well. So, when we say that men don't approach women anymore, there's not a single answer to this, but a combination of many facts and truths about society and gender dynamics at play today. The era we now live in has changed significantly from how society and culture were 7 or 8 decades ago. When I think about these developments, one thing stands out to me in particular. Why are males approaching women differently now than they used to? What took place during this period? Men chase women around and make idiots of themselves, but do they really want to be with them? Today, you may have a live online conversation with anyone, anywhere in the globe. Therefore, both men and women did not have access to such luxury in the past. These luxuries certainly allow people to spend less time and money on socializing and going on dates, but they also lessen the authenticity of such interactions. Why then do guys not approach women anymore? Males often analyze the benefits and drawbacks of every action before acting, which is why I think this is the case. Today, there are far more drawbacks to approaching women than there are benefits. In the modern world, approaching women almost usually results in rejection, labeling as a weirdo, or simply being ignored and socially outcast. Why? Because most males are perceived by women as predators or desperate men. They will be fine if they already know a guy and want him to contact them, but that is another matter. But it is simply not worthwhile for a male to approach an unidentified woman. There are too many risks. Social embarrassment, total ignorance, and a generalized dread of rejection are just some of the reasons why men choose to avoid approaching women. If a man approached a lady respectfully to start a conversation, she would likely embarrass him more often than not. In a video I saw, a man makes an absolute mess of himself by trying to talk to a woman without being rude or odd. The woman fabricated the claim that the contact was unusual and posted it to social media for laughs, attention, and perhaps a shot at becoming viral. I found myself thinking why in the world I would want to approach a woman today as I saw this happen. To understand why this is happening, we also need to understand that different women treat different guys in different ways. I want you guys to think about social standing and how one's value affects how they are treated. Think about times when you were approached by a homeless person in your own life. You went on the defensive right away and determined not to talk to them or give them anything. The same is true for women. They're big on social status and image. Even though their circumstances are significantly worse now than they were a century ago. Women must constantly be extra cautious since a man may take them against their will at any time. However, the issue arises when you witness a woman publicly humiliate a man for merely approaching her in a public place with onlookers. If we dig a little deeper, we can only come to the conclusion that modern women no longer value the average guy or men in general. Do you believe Mark Zuckerberg would be treated the same way by a woman who is known for treating the average men that approach her with contempt? Modern women clearly have no respect for men anymore, which is why they seemed so shocked in the videos at the beginning of this video. And I think the majority of guys have decided not to talk to these women because they have realized this. Men have made the decision to just refrain from any actions that enable women to treat them disrespectfully and to belittle them. Men have noticed that women's treatment of men has worsened over time. They have made the decision to put their name, integrity, and respect before the disdain and denigration that women have shown them. Men simply have had it with women's constant whining and unreasonable expectations. Women don't desire unattractive men. Anyone who drives a Honda or Toyota instead of the latest Tesla is not who they are looking for. They won't settle for a man who makes less than a certain amount of money. They keep cheating on men despite having everything they want. And they certainly don't want to approach guys because, guess what, they can't seem to hold a basic conversation with strangers. I mean, that's what women say about men who approach them, right? So, when the situation is flipped, it's the same with them. Men are now beginning to wake up and realize everything. They have no time to waste caring about women who are pointless to interact with. Women don't seem to be aware of how unfair the game is for men, in general. While men are used to being rejected by women, sometimes for no particular reason on a daily basis, women just can't seem to handle rejection and don't really know what to do after being rejected and ignored. This also shows that women are quite entitled when it comes to dating and relationships. They believe that every guy should thirst for them and desire them in every way. Well, times and have and guess who's wrong here. Thanks for watching Manfulness.